Hi everyone, it's Mary Ellen from Heartwood Farm, and as we're getting ready this winter for the season of amazing vegetables, we decided to do a bunch of videos to kind of get everybody prepared for handling all the good stuff that's going to be in your CSA box or at the farmer's market. So we want to start off and kick this series off with things that we think are great to have in your kitchen to be able to deal with the amazing local harvests that are going to come in. So first things first, on the cleaning and preparing your vegetable front, we recommend everybody get a little veggie scrub brush. This is great for cleaning off root crops. It just gets any of the loose dirt off. We use it for things like carrots, beets, potatoes. We actually don't end up peeling a lot of our vegetables, especially in spring and summer, because they're just so fresh. The skins are really thin. So this brush gets a lot of use, as you can probably tell. The second thing that we would recommend is that everybody have a decent veggie peeler. We really like the long pointy ones, just because if you see any spot you want to take out, you can kind of scoop it out with them. They also have the square flat ones, but they're just not quite as versatile as these. So this is our preferred type of veggie peeler. We don't peel a ton of veggies, but sometimes you're going to want them for potatoes, or at this time of the year in the winter, a lot of the carrots and beets coming out of storage have thicker skins, and you might want to take those off. So we recommend a veggie peeler. Next thing is a nice big cutting board. If you come visit us at the Cas Market, you can buy a beautiful wooden cutting board there. We've switched a lot to using the dishwasher safe ones just because we tend to be really busy and it's easy to throw them in the dishwasher. I would definitely recommend a big cutting board. Some of the vegetables you're going to get, like the chards, the kales, cabbages, carrots, actually almost all of our vegetables tend to be nice and big. So having a larger board just makes it easier to keep them from falling all over your counter and making a mess. Along with the cutting board, you're going to want some knives. This is the one area of the kitchen where it might be worth investing if you don't have a decent knife. It just makes it so much easier to cut to have a nice steel knife. These ones, it's really easy to sharpen. They'll last for decades. We're a big fan of like one big chef's knife, like an 8 or 9 inch blade, just so you can get through some of the bigger vegetables that are going to come your way, or you can cut smaller vegetables. It's just easier because it's so big. I also like having like the shorter length chef's knife. This is great for small roots, or if you just want to cut some detailed things like maybe garlic or scallions, or just something where you don't need quite as big of a knife. The third knife that we would recommend is a little veggie peeler, or a paring knife. So if you want to just like peel off the skins, this little knife is great to do that. So knives are super great. When you're looking for a knife, I like the ones with the straight edges. They're just a lot easier to sharpen. Some of the ones they make have like the little serrated edge, and those you just can't really sharpen. They're good when you start, but then they gradually get duller and duller. If you're switching knives and you get a sharp knife, just be careful with it at first because it will cut a lot differently. We try to do a lot to avoid chopping off fingers in the kitchen because we might have done that a few times. The next thing you're going to want, actually we'll skip over to this guy, is a way to handle your compost. So ideally you're going to use most of the vegetables that you're buying at the market or getting in your boxes, but sometimes there's parts that you're not going to use, like the tops of the carrots. Not everybody's going to want to eat turnip greens or radish greens, or even, maybe the bottoms of the kale. So you're going to have some vegetable waste. A lot of people compost, and so we compost, put all of our compost in a little bucket, and then we take it out to the compost pile, just because we generate a lot of compost as a farm. They make fancy little compost containers that could hold like a week or so of compost in your kitchen, and then you can take it out to the pile. I know some folks, you might have to put it in the trash if you don't have the capacity to compost, but just you want to be prepared to handle it in some way. Also on the washing front, I would recommend getting a veggie spinner. So these work, probably a bunch of you guys already have one, but they work by, you put the washed vegetables in here, you can put the lid on and spin it around, and centrifugal force will kind of pull all the water to the outside. And so the veggies in the middle are going to be a lot drier than they would be otherwise. With the veggies, it's great when they're dry because they can hold dressing better. So if you're making a salad or something, if they're not coated with water, the dressing will stick on and adhere a lot better. The other thing is when you're storing vegetables, it's really a fine balance in the refrigerator between them being moist enough to stay nice and fresh, but too moist, they'll get kind of funky. So the salad spinner is great to get you that perfect level of moisture. Speaking of storing in the refrigerator, you're just going to want to have some plan on how to store your vegetables. So we use recycled plastic bags or bags we get from the farmer's market. Ideally, for most vegetables, they store best in the crisper drawer, loosely wrapped in a plastic bag. So this is going to keep in the amount of moisture that you want for them to stay fresh the longest amount of time. So they do make some really fancy bags, like veggie storage bags that are made out of fabric, and you can wash them in the washing machine and keep them, use them for years. And those are nice. They let like a certain amount of moisture to come out, but not so much. And the veggies do last pretty long in those ones. Or you can use recycled bags. We also just wanted to demo, there's a bunch of Tupperware containers. We'll demonstrate this more in later videos, but we'll often cut apart our vegetables and store the roots and the greens separately. So this would be a place that we would store a lot of the people really kitchen. This would be pretty much some of the things we'd recommend you having on hand. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you at the market. Bye.